Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to African Metaphysical Center for Spiritual Healing, Body, Mind, and Spirit Development. I am your host, Kufu Amin-Ra, your metaphysical practitioner, Reiki master, Qigong instructor, bond practitioner, and mystic. Today's topic is the deeper truth, what they don't want you to know. There's a reason this message feels overwhelming. There's a reason you might want to stroll past it, dismiss it, or convince yourself it's exaggerated. Because accepting it means accepting that everything has to change, and change is terrifying. But let me tell you what's more terrifying: doing nothing. We've been sold a lie, the biggest lie ever told, that individual choices alone will save us. That if we just recycle enough, but the right products, buy the right products, use a metal straw, you're doing your part. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. 100 companies are responsible for 71% of global emissions. The fossil fuel industry has known about climate change since the 1970s, and they spent billions to hide it, to spread doubt, to buy politicians, to delay action. They traded our future for their profit margin. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. Designed to extract maximum profit regardless of human cost. Designed to concentrate wealth in fewer and fewer hands while the rest of us fight for scraps. Designed to keep us distracted, divided, and powerless. They want you to feel like it's your fault, your responsibility alone. Because as long as you're focused on your personal carbon footprint, you're not focused on their corporate carbon blueprint, crushing the planet. But individual action isn't enough anymore. We need systematic change. We need policy change. We need to hold corporations accountable. We need to elect leaders who would choose planet over profit. We need to dismantle the structures that got us here. And here's what makes this even more unjust. The people who contributed least to this crisis is suffering the most. The Pacific Islanders whose homes are disappearing beneath rising seas. They didn't cause this. The farmers in East Africa watching their crops fail year after year. They didn't cause this either. The indigenous community watching their sacred lands destroyed. They didn't cause this. The wealthiest 10% of the world produces over half of global carbon emissions. The poorest 50% produces only 10%. Guess who's dying first? Guess who doesn't have air conditioning when heat waves hit? Guess who can't afford to evacuate when disasters strike? Guess who loses everything while the rich build bunkers and buy private islands? This is environmental racism, environmental colonism. The same systems of oppression that have exploited people for centuries are now exploiting the planet. And the most vulnerable are paying with their lives. We're losing our humanity. But it's not just about carbon and degrees and parts per million. It's about what we're becoming. We've normalized the unthinkable. We see images of children starving and we keep scrolling. We hear about mass shootings and we've stopped being shocked. We watch refugees drowning in the Mediterranean Sea and we debate whether they deserve to be saved. When did we become so numb? When did we lose our capacity for empathy? When did we forget that every single person suffering is someone's child, someone's parent, someone's beloved. We've been conditioned to see each other as competition instead of community, to hoard instead of share, to build walls instead of bridges, to ask what's in it for me instead of how can I help. We've forgotten that we're all connected, that your suffering diminishes me, that my well-being depends on yours, that we're all passengers on the same small planet hurtling through space. And if it goes down, we all go down together. There are no lifeboats on spaceship Earth. And the cost of all this is destroying us from the inside out. Depression rates are skyrocketing. Anxiety is epidemic. Suicide rates are climbing, especially among young people. Because how do you plan for a future you're not sure exists? How do you dream when those dreams feel like delusions? How do you hope when everything tells you there's no reason to? We call it climate anxiety or ego grief, but it's more than that. It's the soul's deep knowing that something is fundamentally wrong, that we're living in a system that's killing us and we feel powerless to stop it. Young people are choosing not to have children because they can't bear to bring them into this world. Think about that. We've created a reality so bleak that the basic human drive to create life is being overridden by despair. That's not normal. That's not okay. That's a sign that we're broken something essential. Hope is not naive. Hope is not passive. Hope is not sitting around waiting for someone to save you. Real hope is a discipline. It's a choice you make every single day to believe that another world is possible and to work for it, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Hope is planting trees you'll never sit under. Hope is fighting for a future you might never live to see. Hope is doing the right thing even when you don't know if it will be enough. And here's the truth. We've overcome impossible odds before. We ended slavery, a form of it, an economic system that seemed permanent and unchangeable. We won the civil rights. We won civil rights. We lost them again, but we won the first time. We defeated fascism. It's back. We put a person on the moon. We eradicated smallpox. We created the internet. We decoded the human genome. Humans are capable of extraordinary things when we decide something matters enough, when we come together, when we refuse to accept the unacceptable. The solutions exist right now. Renewable energy is now cheaper than fossil fuels in most places. Solar and wind are the fastest growing energy sources in history. We can power the entire world with clean energy. We have the technology right now. Regenerative architecture can restore soil health, sequester carbon, and produce abundant food. We can feed everyone on this planet without destroying it. We have the knowledge right now. We can build cities that are green, walkable, efficient, and beautiful. We can create transportation systems that don't poison the air. We can design an economy that works for everyone, not just the wealthy few. The solutions exist. What's missing is the political will. And political will comes from us, from people like you deciding you've had enough, from movements building in the streets, from voters demanding change, from workers organizing, from communities resisting. The woman advocates were told women would never vote. The civil rights activists were told segregation would never end. The anti-apartheid movement was told it was impossible. They were all told to be realistic, to be patient, to wait, to accept things as they are. And they all said no. They organized, they marched, they resisted, they persisted, and they won. Not because it's easy, not because victory was guaranteed, but because they refused to accept injustice, because they believed in something bigger than themselves, because they knew that the moral arc of the universe doesn't bend towards justice on its own. We have to bend it. You were born for this moment, not by accident, not by coincidence. You are alive right now at the most crucial juncture in human history because you have a role to play. Maybe you meant to be an activist. Maybe you're meant to be a scientist finding solutions. Maybe you're meant to be an artist helping people see differently. Maybe you're meant to be a teacher inspiring the next generation. Maybe you're meant to be a parent raising conscious children. Maybe you're meant to be a friend who listens and supports and encourages. Whatever your role is, it matters. You matter. First, what should we do now? First, feel it, all of it. The grief, the anger, the fear, the overwhelm. Don't push it away. Don't numb it. Feel it fully. Because on the other side of that feeling is clarity, it's purpose, it's power. Second, educate yourself. Learn about the system. Learn about the solutions. Learn about the movements already happening. You can't fight what you don't understand. Third, find your people. You can't do this alone. None of us can. Find communities, organizations, movements, working for change. Plug in, show up, contribute what you can. Fourth, use your voice. Talk to people, post about it, create content, have uncomfortable conversations, break the silence. Every time someone speaks up, they give others permission to do the same. Fifth, take action. Vote like lives depend on it, because they do. Divest from fossil fuels, support sustainable businesses, reduce your consumption, but also protest, organize, resist, and demand systematic changes. Sixth, don't burn out. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Take care of yourself, rest, find joy, celebrate small victories, build sustainable resistance. We are not past the point of no return, not yet. We still have time. Not much, but enough. Enough to choose differently, enough to change course, enough to write a different ending to the story, but only if we act now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's more convenient, right now. The planet doesn't need more people who are moderately concerned. It needs people who are radically committed, people who are willing to risk comfort for conscience, people who will stand up even when it's scary. It needs you. Not a perfect vision of you, not a vision of you that has it all figured out. Just you, right now, with whatever you have to offer. Because here's the final truth. We will either transform together or collapse together. There is no third option, no middle ground, no compromise with physics. The question that will define our generation, our legacy, our worth as a species is this. When the future asks what we did in the decisive decade, when everything hung in the balance, when we still had a chance to choose differently, what will our answer be? That we were too busy, too scared, too comfortable, too convinced. it didn't matter, or that we rose to the moment, that we fought like our lives depended on it, that we chose courage over comfort, that we refused to go quietly into extinction. So the choice is yours. The time is now, and the future is watching. What will you choose? Until next time, ashe, ashe, ashe.